Hey there, going to talk about something a little bit serious today. That is speaking up, especially if you feel the person might be receptive. And instead of playing around and just trying to beat around the bush, I'm just going to get right into a personal anecdote from when I was in my early 20s. Quick background: I had been, I'd always been kind of a rowdy and kind of a drunken heavy metal kid and whatever, and I went through a period of time where I quit drinking and bought a Volkswagen van and drove down to California and spent a whole summer down there just cruising around and just experiencing life. Even whatever kind of went, whatever happened. I just kind of went with the flow a little bit. I ended up spending a weekend with the Moonies. I don't know if you've ever heard of that cult, and that was pretty wild. I mean, it was wild because it wasn't wild. It was not any sort of wild cult at all. It was a pretty tame cult. I spent a lot of time in the classroom or playing volleyball. Anyway, just I'm saying that to give you an idea of how kind of open to the world and stuff I was in my early 20s. So fast forward a bit, I came back from that trip and moved from the small town on the island where I lived and moved over to Vancouver. And I found myself at I guess it was a fundraiser or a information session in Vancouver on Commercial Drive regarding, I guess they were killing some not grizzlies, black bears, if I'm not mistaken. It's going back to the mid 90s, mid 90s. And I felt strongly about it. I don't know why. I was not a vegan. I was not even a vegetarian at that point. I became a pescatarian shortly after that. Not for, mostly I get for health reasons, I think it was. I don't know. It was what it was. Anyway, so I found myself at this animal rights demonstration for the black bears, and I had never been to anything like that before in my life. I guess I'd just seen a flyer. So I walked in and, I was really broke at that time, but I paid the donation. I went in and thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to be receptive to this and, listen to the people speak. And when I went in there, people were just giving me the most hostile looks. And I happened to be wearing a buckskin jacket from my parents. I think it was actually my mom's, but it was like a unisex sort of buckskin, like you would have seen in the movie Easy Rider. I had the whole hippie look going on. I don't have a picture of me in that jacket, but I'll put up a picture of me and right here of how I looked at that time. And, I thought I was, kind of going with the hippie look. And little did I know buckskin, the evil behind leather and fur, whatever, and meat. I had no idea about any of that stuff. But the fact is, I was at an animal rights gathering, and people just gave me the meanest looks, and I felt so out of place. I mean, I'm kind of used to that. I've always felt that my whole life. Oh, I shed a tear. But anyway, so I mean, it was like, holy shit, again. Like, I just felt so uncomfortable with the vibes I was getting. Vibes, here I was a hippie, right? But vibes are a real thing. So had somebody just said, hey man, just let you know that jacket you're wearing is based on cruelty. I mean, a lot of people were thinking it, but nobody said it to me. And I would have been very, very receptive. And, I was there with an open mind, just wanting to learn, just wanting to listen. And yeah, so had somebody spoken up it wouldn't even mattered. Even if they were mad at me, even if they weren't able to keep their cool, I still would have been receptive. And I'd be like, holy shit, sorry, man. Like, I did not know that. Yeah, but nobody did. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now. Is I think that I know for myself, I'm not always comfortable speaking, to people like that. I can do the bombastic thing, or if I'm in the right frame of mind, I can do outreach, but I sort of have to be in that mode. So I feel that we should all do what we're comfortable with. And even if that means coming off aggressive, like I say, I'm telling you from my heart, if somebody had been aggressive to me and said, hey, you fucking asshole, that was a cow that just wanted to live that you're wearing on your body right now, I would have felt bad and I never would have worn it again. In fact, I think I figured it out and I never really wore it too much after that anyways. Didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what it was about after I'd had some time to think about it. But I still, I didn't go vegetarian for a while. I didn't even go vegan. Didn't go vegan for years. Years it took. And like I say, had somebody had that conversation, who knows what those 20 years could have looked like between then and now. So speak up, folks. Just don't be afraid to say something. And it's for the animals. I mean, if we get a bad vibe back, if someone's mean to us back, just think of the animals that are dying. I mean, anything that you can say to hurt my feelings is nothing compared to an animal being lined up, watching his or her family members being killed in front of them, knowing that their turn is next. I mean, gosh, you call me a fucking asshole, stupid piece of shit for speaking my mind. I mean, that's nothing, So I'm just throwing that out there to the universe. I wish somebody had spoken up to me, and I get criticized a little bit for my methods sometimes, but I do all methods. I mean, I just get kind of, singled out for the bombastic stuff. But I mean, I've gotten pretty accustomed to just speaking to random folks kindly and in a calm manner as well. So I guess it's situational is what I'm trying to say. There's a time and a place for every sort of vibe. Anyways, we're starting to get on a little bit rambly here. So that's my message. Just speak up. Don't be afraid to say something. Yeah. I wish somebody had spoken up to me sooner. Peace.